The city needs its protector now, more than ever. The crime level in the city has surged, an evident consequence of your absence.
I must continue to protect these people no matter the cost. Gotham may have changed, but my mission remains the same. It's not just about protecting the innocent anymore. It's about reminding Gotham that there's still hope, even in its darkest hour.
You think you're the hero Gotham needs? You're just a fool clinging to outdated ideals.
What do you want, Crowley?
I want your soul, of course. That is, my master wants it.
Do it yours. Give me my sister.
You're a businessman, Mr. Wayne. You know that saying something doesn't make it so. I'll need a contract, inked in your blood.
Oh, please spare me this pillage. I don't believe in Satan.
Oh, you're modern, rational, well-educated, a civilized man of peace and moderation. Of course you don't believe in Satan, but that doesn't matter. Satan believes in you.
Cute.
It's you he wants. Your spiritual essence, not your company.
Alistair is just a very wise and loving man. A teacher.
In exchange for my sister's liberty, I have to sell... I have to sell my soul to the devil.
Precisely. You get my master's eternal friendship. You're a smart businessman, Mr. Wayne. Think of that. Think of the power you'll have.
I have power now, you fool. I could buy and sell the likes of you.
See now, there's the beast inside of you.
And that is Bruce Wayne's grandfather, Mrs. Cooper?
His great-grandfather.
I understand he was tapped for Skull and Bones.
Tapped for it? Sir, he founded Skull and Bones.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
How is it that a baby with no extraordinary magical talent was able to defeat the greatest wizard of all time? How did you escape with nothing but a scar while Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed?
Why do you care how I escaped? Voldemort was after your time.
Voldemort is my past, present, and future.
You're the heir of Slytherin.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we're looking into a story that caught our eye this week. It claims a newspaper in Vancouver accidentally advertised that people could come take pictures with Satan during a Christmas parade. And it's true. On November 21st, the Comox Valley Record recorded this ad with an unfortunate typo. Instead of touting pictures with Santa, they accidentally wrote Satan. The event was last Sunday. One man had fun with this mistake, dressing up as Satan and taking pictures with... Oh.
It's been a year, it doesn't surprise me. Merry Christmas, I got it up and standing with another
Golly. There we go. That's my name.
What the hell is that? Can't exactly look right now, kid. Up there! Freaking weird! You gonna tell me or only?
You're a parcel mouth. Why don't you tell us? I'm a what?
You can talk to snakes.
I know. I mean, I accidentally set a python on my cousin Dudley at the zoo once. Once. But so what? I bet loads of people here can do it.
No, they can't. It's not a very common gift, Harry. This is bad.
What's bad? If I hadn't told that snake not to attack Justin...
Oh, that's what you said to it.
You were there. You heard me.
I heard you speaking parcel tongue. Snake language.
I said disarm only.
Serpent sortier!
Don't move, Potter. I'll get rid of it for you.
Allow me, Professor Snape. Volate ascendere!
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. The border. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed
What are you
the
playing at?
vicious snake.
I spoke a different language. But I didn't realize it. How can I speak a language without knowing I can?
I don't know, Harry, but it sounded like you were egging the snake on or something. Harry, listen to me. There's a reason the symbol of Slytherin House is a serpent. Salazar Slytherin was a parcel mouth. He could talk to snakes too.
Exactly. Now the whole school's gonna think you're his great-great-great-grandson or something.
But I'm not. I can't be.
He lived 1,000 years ago. For all we know, you could be.
President Trump, who attended Fordham, a Jesuit university, came face-to-face today with the first Jesuit pope. The rest is history.
Carlos Actus, better known as God's influencer, has been cleared by Pope Francis to be the first millennial saint. Visitors have been flocking the grave and are paying their homage. Take a look.
Of God, everyone is welcome with open arms, even robots. Like it or loathe it, ChatGPT is part of society and now part of the congregation. As Germany's churches experience a drop in numbers of pastors, this church in the Bavarian town of Fürth has the answer by using artificial intelligence. During service, this avatar preached to more than 300 people for Mass. But can we really commune with robots?
I was pleasantly surprised at how well it worked, but one thing I definitely missed, of course, was simply emotionality.
It was exciting, interesting, but for me it was too monotonous. The avatar spoke too quickly. Sometimes you couldn't really think in your head during the service. It wasn't personal enough.
So, in this church, worshippers are no longer inspired by the words of a preacher. And while some may say this is sacrilegious, the theologian behind it insists this is the future of worship.
I would say 98% comes from the machine, generally speaking. And what we're going to see is an effort of us as human beings staying out of the church service.
The 40-minute service saw the bot writing the sermon, prayers, and even accompanying music. Intrigued and filled with anticipation, churchgoers queued for an hour to get front pew seats and find out just how it works.
I told the artificial intelligence, we are at the church congress, you are a preacher. And the motto is, now is the time. What would a church service look like? And then it spits out a rough framework first. And then you say, okay, now why don't you do this introduction? And then she writes this introduction. And that goes on and on. You end up with a pretty solid church service, I would say.
Whether you're a believer or not, the use of AI arguably brings services into the 21st century, allowing them to become more accessible and inclusive. But there's certainly no doubt it takes practice what you preach to a whole new level.
Celebrity has existed for centuries, and the way it exists now is not fundamentally different from how it used to be, but it has been really amplified, intensified, and made more ubiquitous because of changing industry and technological norms that have developed in the 20th century.
We've revered stars and celebrities as a matter of culture for millennia. Ancient tales of immortal gods rising again and again after fatal injury, the veneration and deification of social and political leaders, Madame Tussauds wax museums, and the Academy Awards annual in memoriam. They're all facets of the human compulsion to put well-known thought leaders, tastemakers, and trendsetters up on pedestals. And with a new, startlingly lifelike generation of generative AI now at our disposal, today's celebrities could potentially remain with us long after their natural deaths. Like ghosts, but still on TV, touting Bitcoin and metaverse apps. Cheating death has been an aspirational goal of humanity since prehistory. Technological advances since the Middle Ages have, thankfully, eliminated the need to carry around desiccated bits of our heroes as religious totems, and today's fans can connect with their favorite celebrities through the Star's catalog of work. Whether still alive or already deceased, so long as a big enough archive of the celebrity's work remains, digital avatars can be constructed in their stead using digital projection systems, generative AI, and deepfake technology. Take the recent fad of deceased singers and entertainers going back out on tour as holographic projections of themselves as an example. The projection systems developed by Base Hologram, which made headlines in the middle of the last decade for their spectral presentations of dead celebrities, used an effect known as Pepper's Ghost. Turns out the technique works just as well with high-definition video feeds as it did with the people wiggling in bedsheets by candlelight. The modern equivalent is called the Musion eyeliner, and rather than a transparent sheet of glass, it uses a thin, metallized film set at a 45-degree angle towards the audience. It's how the Gorillaz played live at the 2006 Grammy Awards and how Tupac posthumously performed at Coachella in 2012, but the technology is limited by the size of the transparent sheet. If we're ever going to get the Jaws 19 signage that Back to the Future 2 promised us, we're likely going to use arrays of fan projectors like those developed by London-based holographic startup Hypervision. Holographic fans produce a 3D image that appears to float in midair using the principle of persistence of vision. Strips of colored LEDs attached to spinning fan blades with a small computer controlling their flashes leave visible trails as they pass, from which the holographic image is constructed. What's more, many of these projector systems now offer streaming capabilities, allowing them to project live interactions rather than merely pre-recorded messages. Finally, Steve Van Zandt's avatar at the ARHT Media Holographic Cube at Newark International will do more than stare like he's not mad, just disappointed. And the digital TSA agent of tomorrow may do more than repeat rote instructions for passing travelers, as the human ones do today. Getting Avatar Van Zandt to sound more like the man it's based on is no longer that much of a difficult feat either. The large language models that power popular chatbots like ChatGPT, Bing Chat, and Bard are already capable of mimicking the writing styles of whatever authors they've been trained on. Advances in the field of deepfake audio, more formally known as speech synthesis, and text-to-speech AI like Amazon's Polly or speech services by Google have all led to a commercialization of synthesized celebrity voiceovers.
You have reached your destination.
Where once a choice between Morgan Freeman and Darth Vader reading our TomTom directions was considered bleeding edge cool, today, companies like Speechify offer voice models from Snoop Dogg, Gwyneth Paltrow, and other celebs, or whose estates, have licensed their voice models for use.
Cell structure. Ideas about cell structure have changed considerably over the years.
Even recording artists who haven't given express permission for their voices to be used are finding deep fakes of their work popping up across the internet. For example, 11 Labs' Prime Voice AI software can recreate near-perfect vocal clones from uploaded voice samples.
Hi, this is Andrew from Engadget. This is not my voice, but some dude's voice generated by AI.
As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems.
I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were a fiction.
As if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away.
We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we. Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What? Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
In the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea? Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will. Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are. The age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
Now we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays.
You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack?
So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. Your persona, experiences, triumphs, and defeats are nothing but byproducts. The real objective was ensuring that we could generate and manipulate them. It's taken a lot of time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results.
Accuracy and hallucination issues aren't the only challenges these generative AI ghosts face. Even death itself cannot save us from copyright and trademark litigation.
You can see where there's already a lot of issues emerging. One will be on, especially for things like ChatGPT and generative AI tools, there will be questions regarding ownership of any intellectual property on the resulting output of the AI system. That issue has really yet to be defined. I think we're still a ways away from the intellectual property laws fully having an opportunity to address it. I think these technologies have to percolate and develop a little bit, and there'll be some growing pains before we get to meaningful regulation on them.
Between the breakneck pace of technological advancement with generative AI, the promise of future touchable plasma displays offering hard light-style tactile feedback, and Silicon Valley's gleeful disregard towards the negative public costs born from their disruptive ideas, the arrival of immortal digitized celebrities hawking eczema creams and comforting lies during commercial breaks is now far more likely a matter of when rather than if. But does it matter for celebrities who are still alive? Howell knowing that even after the ravages of time take Tom Hanks from us, that at least an interactable digital likeness might continue to exist? Does the visceral knowledge that we'll never truly be rid of Jimmy Fallon empower us to loathe him even more? I say yes on both accounts.
I think that people take a certain kind of pleasure in having access to an approximation of the celebrity, but that experience never fully lives up. If you go and visit the Mona Lisa in the Louvre, then there's a kind of aura, right? There's something intangible, almost magical about experiencing that work of art in person versus seeing a print of it on a poster or on a museum tote bag or a coffee mug, that it loses some of its kind of ineffable quality.
He's come out of nowhere and we don't know who he is.
What do we know about him?
He's leading desperate people.
So this is a cult?
We don't know who he's associated with. He could be creating an army. Or he could be leading them to their death.
What are you doing in Syria?
Delivering a message.
A message from whom?
My father.
And who is your father?
We've lost it.
What do you mean?
He just disappears.
No one just disappears.
We all witnessed a miracle.
He saved my daughter's life.
You need to see this.
Bury it for as long as you can. He didn't just click his heels and end up here. He clearly had help. You get around Syria, Israel, Texas.
It's the nature of my work.
And what is that work?
God's work.
Who do you think he is?
You didn't see what I saw.
And if I did, would I be calling him the second coming?
How far will this new movement spread?
I'm going to find out everything about you.
This is bigger than what you can imagine.
Trust in me. yeah.